Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back for another video. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the Sandbox and ask the question, would I buy or should you buy, not financial advice, in the bear market? This is installment 35 of 1001. As you can see in the description of this video, you can see the entire playlist for this series, which I will be adding to every day and sometimes multiple times a day. If you like this content, smash up that like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment in the comment section. But let's go ahead and ask the question, would I buy the Sandbox or the Sand token in the bear market? In my opinion, this is an easy yes. If you watched my Decentraland video, it's for many of the same reasons why I said that I would buy Decentraland, and it's simply this: Metaverse. You know, we have a picture of what the metaverse is going to be, at least in our minds, and that is an online world where we can interact that would possibly, I hate to say it like this, but possibly be a competitor to the real world, you know, that we would prefer that reality over this reality. And so we see that as potentially a future thing. It's never going to be my thing. I will take the real world, but I know plenty of people will take the virtual world over the real world. I know that. But so here's the deal. You can see that we are nowhere near that reality, that period being a reality right now, because the quality of that world will have to, you know, not quite exceed the real world, but it will have to feel real-ish. And we're nowhere near that. If you were to explore Decentraland or explore the Sandbox, you would be able to see that easily, but we're on our way, and one day that will be a reality. One day, most likely in most of our lifetimes, that will be a reality. And so there is so much potential with the metaverse. There's a huge piece of the pie. There's a huge pie that is growing and growing and growing, and one day is going to be enormous, and it's much smaller than it is now. So yes, get in now. Get in on the ground level, not financial advice. So the Sandbox, Decentraland, I've said this before, I'll say it again. Who knows? You know, we're really in the Stone Age. Who knows who's going to get the biggest piece of the pie? In my opinion, it's probably going to be a larger company that already exists, like Facebook or Microsoft, or a very big gaming company that already exists. But my general thesis is that, especially with something like the Sandbox or Decentraland, that they will have a piece of the pie, and their piece is going to be bigger. And even at the worst case scenario, I said this in my Decentraland video, I'll say it again, we're gonna remember, we're going to see the Sandbox and Decentraland as kind of like an Honus Wagner baseball card, you know, a card that came out in the early 1900s that's worth millions of dollars right now. I think that is the Sandbox's future. So what can I say about the Sandbox that would differentiate itself from Decentraland, since I already covered Decentraland, and you can see all those metaverse thoughts in that video. And there are a few things that I want to point out here. So if we're going to talk about differentiation, I do want to say this, that it seems to me like there's a lot more partnerships with the Sandbox than with Decentraland. I'm not entirely sure about that, but I see, like, for example, Snoop Dogg, you could buy one of his avatars, and that is a Sandbox NFT that you could use as an avatar in the Sandbox. There's a couple other things. Looking at the Sandbox map here. So the map, I already looked this up, 166,464 lands will ever be available, and that is it. They're not going to expand it. This is it. This is every parcel all the way down to what, you know, a little box right here. But look at this map, and you can see some major names here who have already bought in to the Sandbox. We have Atari, we have Ubisoft, we have Gemini, and so many other things here. And they've bought their lands. I'm pretty sure that they're never going to sell those lands. I mean, what are they going to do? Sell a pixel, you know, sell a parcel and break that up? And so we have already a great deal of corporate buy-in with the Sandbox. And I know that that's happening on Decentraland. It seems to me like this is happening more on the Sandbox than Decentraland. But this is just a primer. Do your own research. Maybe I'm crazy about that. What else can we say about the Sandbox? So the land lands and estates. It's pretty simple, similar to Decentraland. The price is about the same. The cheapest piece of parcel of land that you could buy is 1.33 ETH. For mana, Decentraland, it's about 3,000 mana. Last I checked, mana was about $1 per token. And so, $3,000 versus 1.33 ETH. ETH, as I'm making this video, is about $1,750. So, lower $2,000 range. But there are almost twice as many lands in the Sandbox as there are Decentraland. And so the total market cap of the lands is about the same. So there's that. There's all things you can buy. It's much easier to navigate this website. You can buy an avatar, and you can see the Snoop Dogg World of Women, POC, NFTs. You can buy equipment. You can buy art, all sorts of things. So the equipment's relatively cheap in comparison to other things. And so this is all happening. And, this is what do I say? I mean, if you've watched Ready Player One, you know that there are lots of accessories you can buy, but this is all digital, and in Ready Player One, that's not entirely the case. So maybe one day, with the blending of the virtual world with the real world, there will be physical equipment that you would buy on this website, and it would be delivered to you to enhance your experience in the Sandbox Metaverse or in any other metaverse. A couple other things that I want to point out here. I talked about the land, talking about the tokenomics here. So there is a supply of 3 billion sand that will ever exist. It is capped, but the circulating supply right now is 1.28 billion. I was not able to see how inflationary this is. For me, with the growth potential of the metaverse, it's not as big of a deal for me, considering the fact that, Goldman Sachs released an article, a statement saying that they think intermediate term that the metaverse is going to be an $8 trillion industry. Right now, it's worth a few billion dollars. The growth potential for that is insane. So I'm not as concerned with tokenomics. Do I believe that this is going to put it a higher high next cycle? Yeah, I do. I think that the Sandbox will put in a higher high next cycle, and whatever cycles look like, because that may change, and the cycle after that. So it peaked at about $9. It's down to $1.29 today, got as low as in the 80s. So did a good 90% drop. If it only reached its previous cycle top, that is a 7 or 8x from here. But I would expect it to go a decent amount higher next time around, next euphoria phase, whenever that may be. So I would be targeting something like, dare I say, maybe a 20x, maybe even more than that for the next euphoria phase. I was trying to figure out what's the deal here? So with mana, it's mined, but with Sandbox, I was not able to figure that out. And again, tokenomics, not as big of a deal. For other cryptocurrencies, it's a huge deal. I want to know how inflationary that is. For Sandbox, it's not so much. I read the white paper. I read not all of the white paper. I read the part on the tokenomics, and I'm seeing here that in the game, which I have not played, I have checked around Decentraland, but not the Sandbox. Players are able to earn sand tokens while playing different games uploaded to the Sandbox ecosystem. They might win sand by slaying a legendary monster, opening a chest, or even completing a quest. Nearly endless possibilities can be created in games. That is a mechanism of how Sandbox is earned. But again, it's encouraging to me that even with that in mind, there is a max supply of 3 billion. So this isn't inflationary into perpetuity like a Dogecoin, like a Cosmos. Not that I am opposed to buying those in the bear market. I actually said yes to both of those in this series. And so I want to give one big final thought, a thesis statement of sorts with the Sandbox, and then I'm going to be done. Personally, looking at this and comparing it to Decentraland, especially given the fact that they're so close in market cap to each other, And so even just the way that the price has moved, Decentraland is about as far down from its peak as the Sandbox is as the day that I'm making this video. I want to say personally that I believe that the Sandbox has more potential to take a bigger piece of that pie that I was talking about. I could change my mind at a different time, but as of right now, personally, I believe that the Sandbox has more potential. I'm seeing a lot more corporate buy-in. I'm seeing better gameplay, better experience, better graphics. Decentraland, I hate to say it, looks a little bit cheesy, a little bit. I'm not going to say as of right now that it seems like the Sandbox might be a little bit ahead when it comes to the graphics. But who knows? We've got a long way to go, and we might even see the king of the metaverse be a cryptocurrency that does not even exist as of today. But I'm excited. I'm going to be buying both the Sandbox and Decentraland in the bear market. I will buy both, and I'm excited about that. So, yeah, that is all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. If you like this content, again, smash up that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know what you think in the comment section. Will you be buying Sandbox in the bear market? All right, have a good one. Peace.